A lot of people think that after a master's degree, the next step they have to go will always be the PhD. But for Ms. Toh, it might not be. As a master's degree holder, she works as a psychologist managing over 10,000 employees in an international company. But at the end, she switches her career into early childhood education. So, what makes her decide to quit the admirable job and go down to study a diploma course? Stay tuned to this episode of Shanghai Talk of Fame. 你好，欢迎大家收看上海名人坊。Ms. Toh has a master's degree in psychology and was working as a psychologist in an international company for 3 years. Due to her husband's profession, which didn't allow them to move to Singapore, she opted to come back to Johor Bahru and change her career into education. As she got a suggestion from her former teacher, she took the Montessori diploma course. In the year 2008, she established her own early childhood education center, Clover Learning Center. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Shanghai Talk of Fame. I'm your host, Wei Ping. Joining us today, we have Ms. Toh of Clover Learning Center. Hi Ms. Toh, welcome to the show.
Hi Wei Ping, thank you.
I understand that you're also the founder of Clover Learning Center.
Yes, I am.
And well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you because I heard you've just received an international award for the 6th consecutive year.
Yes.
Congratulations, tell us a bit about the award.
Right, this is an award being given by Kinder Music International. So we are competing with the centers all around the world to get this award. So we are being awarded the top program for this international award.
6 years consecutively.
Yes.
How did you do it? Okay. Well, first of all, of course, when you given the kind of award, I'm sure there's a lot of criteria that's being put into. And of course, passion, it goes without saying, you need to have passion to be doing what you're doing. So why education? What is education to you?
To me, education is not just books and study. It has to be a whole person education. So that's why our center always have the tagline called a whole child education. So it's not only teaching the child literacy, how to read, how to write, how to count in mathematics, but the child's character building as well. So we are a Montessori preschool. Our core program is the Montessori program, which is advocating the child characters building. So Montessori has a famous saying that if you give me a child until 7 and I will show you a man.
Wow.
This is a very strong
That's a very huge
statement.
promise.
And indeed, we have done that successfully for the past 14 years of operation. We have groomed a lot of children and they are doing very well right now, in fact. Yeah.
So your first batch of students, are they like what, 14 years old? They're like...
Oh no, they are already 16, 17.
16? Wow.
Because they joined our school like at the age of 2.5, 3. And they're scholarship owners as well.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Already?
Yes.
Okay, a little bit more about the school at the later part. Because I'm very interested in Ms. Toh's background. Actually, children education is quite far off from what you studied. Tell us about your own education background.
I did my secondary school in Singapore, and then I left the country for UK for 6 years. So I just finished my degree and my master's degree in psychology. Yeah. Then I came back. So I did the industrial psychology part of study.
Has that always been an interest?
Yeah, that time. That period of time, I really like industrial psychology, corporate psychology type of.
Why is that? You're always curious. You've always been curious about human nature.
Yes, because I want to know how company who are very big, like they have branches all over the world. How do they manage their employees who are human, right?
Because essentially it's all about human resource.
Yes. So it's interesting how companies can manage so many branches all over the world, and they are doing extremely well. So I work in a multinational company, but the headquarters was in Singapore. So I was in charge of the Asia Pacific region of doing some human resource development for them.
For the total employees of
10,000 employees in the APAC region.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that's huge. So yeah, that was a few years there.
So why didn't you pursue? Why give up?
Naturally, I'm a female. I got to get married and have children. So my husband is based in Johor Bahru. Okay, so I have to come back to the Johor
You had to come back.
No, I ought to come
I'm sure
back.
a lot of female viewers are probably back to defer, no.
But to me, a family is important.
Okay.
A family can last you for a lifetime.
But why didn't you ask him to go join in Singapore instead?
Yeah, that kind of conversation did start
Surfaced,
before.
yeah.
Yes, did surface. Because he's in the legal profession, so that actually makes it a little bit challenging.
Basically, of different legal system in Singapore, they cannot practice that.
So yeah, so it's fine. I'm carefree.
Okay.
So I am flexible. So I'm fine. So I opted to come back to Johor Bahru, and Johor Bahru is not as robust as KL.
Yeah.
So I did try to find jobs like related to my corporate field.
Yeah, especially with your kind of background, corporate psychology, I would imagine there's probably not much to do in Johor.
In fact, it's zero.
Zero.
It's zero.
Okay.
So, but I really, because of forming a family soon, so I really look forward. I have a plan of my life ahead of me. Okay, I would just tell myself, why not I just take up the study of education. So it's related to psychology as well.
Okay.
So then that will benefit my own children. So if I'm going to go into forming a family, having children of my own, the best thing is I know education in and out thoroughly by myself, and I can even educate my children, and maybe other people's children can benefit from there as well.
Do you see yourself as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman?
I don't really see myself as businesswoman, because the word business really involves like a lot of profit, a lot of money. My very first intention of this learning center is really education.
Okay.
Through the motivation and the drive of my own children, I want them to experience what I think or what I deem is the best education for them. So I didn't just want to jump into doing an education business, which is easy, it's not difficult. As long as you have money, you can just open one center and start giving lessons.
Yeah.
But that is a very irresponsible way to work on that.
Okay.
So I get an advice from one of my former teachers. She actually told me, if you do not know education, you do not go and teach. Why not you take out a diploma in Montessori training, then decide what you really want to do. So I was still working in the corporate firm. Then I took up night classes to go through my diploma course. So right until I finished all the night classes and the exams, I had to make a decision whether to quit my high-paid job. I was really high-paid, really high-paid.
I would imagine. Managing 10,000 people,
Yeah. So I had to really decide. So quit my high-paid job and go into teaching practice in Singapore in one of those schools.
I have to pause you there for a while, because what I see is there are two very different aspects of you.
Okay.
One is about the corporate psychology, about understanding the corporate world. Another one, you mentioned quite a lot about family, children, and your husband. So which one is the dominant side of you?
It's neither of that.
Oh, really?
And
so who are you?
If you are talking, I'm a teacher and a mother at heart. Okay. So I'm a teacher. Because right now I have a lot of, over the 14 years of operation, naturally I have to train out a lot of teachers. I really enjoy training them. See, teaching, not only teaching the young children, but also teaching the adults. And throughout the 14 years of operation, I also taught a lot of parents as well. I gave out seminars, I taught kinder music. Kinder music, parents have to bring their babies to the class. So actually babies are not who we teach, it's the parents we teach. So we always advocate that parents are the first and most important teachers.
Yes.
And they are.
The biggest influence.
Yes. And often they do not realize that. So they do not know the ways of working with their children. And so it's through courses like this, I have a chance to actually share my knowledge with them and share my ways with them. I would say I am not perfect mother or perfect teacher all the time because we are human. So that is also always, I have to review myself, reflect on myself. Okay, if I teach the parents this way, am I a good parent myself? Advocate. So when you ask me, are you a business person, businessman? To me, money is not that important. But the most important is how do you lead your life?
Correct.
In fact, that is education. My husband and I advocate that we teach our children how do you lead your life instead of how do you go and earn the first 1 million. It is never that way.
How to be someone valuable to the society. That's more important.
In fact, that is our core value for my center. Yeah. So our core value is our mission is to develop the children to be the useful member of the society. Yeah.
But along the way, you also paid a huge price because it's taken a toll on your personal health. I understand that you have 3 children now, right?
Yes.
So the eldest one is 7 years old?
No, the eldest is already 15.
Oh, 15?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
he's 15. My youngest is 7.
7,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
you have a daughter in between too?
Yes, I have a daughter in between, and after that I had 2 miscarriages. It's through all the stress of operating a center. So saying business, of course we have to profit. But I wouldn't say I'm a great businesswoman because I'm not looking at
You're not looking close enough on the dollar and cents.
Yes, I'm not looking very close at that. I really want quality education. Okay, if I'm doing quality education, I can't do mass teaching.
It's the quality, not the quantity.
Yes, it's the quality. That's why we haven't been really go into looking at huge profits, but profit that is good enough for the center to go on.
How tough was it at the beginning?
Very tough. In fact, it was really, really challenging.
I understand there were only 2 of you and another teacher.
Yeah.
With 2 students.
With 2 students and only 2 of us, and I had to pay the teacher's salary on a monthly basis, of course, and then only 2 students. So I just had to shut eye at the accounts and not looking at anything. So using my savings to top out and to pay for the expenses.
You must have had a huge savings to carry that on for a while.
Yeah, but then we broke even in half a year.
Oh wow!
Half a year's time by word of mouth. So within half a year, we had 11 students, and within 1.5 years, we had to move to a bigger premise in order to
within half a year.
1.5 years.
1.5 years.
Yeah.
But along the way, have you thought of giving up?
All the time.
So why didn't you?
All the time. No, for the first 5 years of operation, it was really tough because for myself, when I opened the center in 2008, I was pregnant already.
That's the first time.
child.
That's when you first opened the center.
Yeah.
You're already pregnant.
Yeah, I was pregnant with my first child, and then I had to do all the cleaning, the mopping, you know, everything by myself.
How many months were you pregnant at the time?
Around about 5 or 6, already halfway there.
Oh wow!
Already halfway there. So with a big,
quite heavy,
very heavy. So, but I still carry on. My husband was he is always supportive. So you know, so my first 2 students. So Pioneer, we only had 2 students. One is my niece. One was my husband's friend's daughter.
Sort of like, oh yeah, we support you, so we send our daughter there.
I think maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So with only 2 students and hiring 1 teacher and myself as a teacher, I just didn't think of anything about money no dollar and cents. I just focus in doing it well just for these 2 students. And then by word of mouth, students came in one by one. I was like, wow, quite glad about it. But then always there's a struggle because I was pregnant. Then I had to go for maternity leave while the center was still like at the 5 or 6 months of operation. Then left with that one teacher.
It's very tough. That must have been really tough.
I didn't really take rest during the maternity leave. So although I stayed home for that 1 month leave, but I was still doing some like administration work. So after the 1 month is up, 28 days, I quickly went back to the center and continued working. So then every year you ask me the question whether I want to give up along the way.
So every year you thought about it.
I want to close the center.
So every year your child's birthday is a reminder of you to give up.
Something
like that.
Something like that.
Well, anyway, and along the way, Ms. Toh actually had 2 miscarriages. What exactly happened? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.《商界领航白起名传2022》正式接受提名。Welcome back to Shanghai Talk of Fame. Joining us today we have Ms. Toh of Clover Learning Center, and their focus is on the Montessori school, which provide early childhood education.
Yes.
So to you, children is now a huge part of your life. Or it's always been a huge part of your life, right? Have children always been an inspiration to you?
Yes.
Okay.
My own children, do you mean, or
like in general?
In general. Children are actually precious part of the world. If you consider that, we have been children ourselves before, right?
Yeah.
So we can see.
I've gone through a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. Actually, as a psychologist myself, I'm fully aware and fully understand that a good childhood, a good childhood education, a good childhood experience actually brings the person a long way into the adulthood. Right? So sometimes when you see some very distressed adults, in fact, they have very distressed childhood.
I strongly agree with that, and especially if you look at all these documentaries, a lot of the psycho killers, the serial killers, a lot of them have terrible
abused.
childhood. Yes, abusive childhood. Now, of course, you come from a very nice family background and with a very supportive husband. But along the way, you had 2 miscarriages. Is that work related? How did that happen, and what did your husband think about?
Being an entrepreneur is really stressful because we have to not only manage the business but manage the people who work with us, and
which is the hardest part of it.
Yes, and also manage our customers who are the parents. You know, so education is something quite special, which is when we manage the children, we also have to handle the parents as well. So with all these come together, and also the employees as well, I think I was taking out quite a lot. Now to think back, but during that time, I always think that I still can handle, but I just have to move on or do. And there's always personal struggle that I want to close the center. After this year, I want to close it. Then my husband is always the one who said, look, you cannot close because your original intention is for our children to attend your school, and then our children are still like babies. They are not even grown up yet, you know. How can you close?
Your own child has not even had a chance to attend the school.
Yes. So every year is my husband who told me, like, you got to hang in there. Just keep doing. Think back of your original intention of opening, and go into this study of him. Yes, he is. In fact, I'm very blessed that I have him with me all the time. So, and you asked me about what does he think about the miscarriages. He never relate this to my work. He never stopped me because of miscarriage. He say, okay, just stop your business, stop your center. He never ever even think of that, I think, because he
Oh,
never
really?
mentioned.
Okay.
So he just carry on, you know, miscarriage. We just have to take care of my body, you know, myself. I rest. Then
So
it's
he
time to go
never
back to-
once mentioned that
He never ever.
perhaps it's time to scale back a little bit? No.
No. He always say, just hang in there because this is what
This
you
is what
want.
you want.
This is what makes you happy. You know, you will regret if you close the center before your child can even attend it. It's hard for you to pick up again. You just have to hang in
So
there.
are
and
you glad you
continue.
didn't close the center?
I'm very glad. In fact, thanks to my husband's encouragement. If it's not for him, maybe this center will no longer exist.
Okay.
And maybe I will always feel grouchy because I never accomplished the dream that I want to have for my children. Though these two miscarriages, I was largely is really based on due to all the stress, being an entrepreneur. At the
So
same
it's part
time,
of a learning process for you.
it is, and you know, it's part of the female, I think the female career process. Because for a female, we have a lot to handle. We have to also feed our babies at night.
Yeah.
Okay, we are constantly.
So you're a
lack of
mother,
sleep.
you're a wife, you're a businesswoman, you're the headmistress,
Yeah.
you're the everything.
In fact,
Counselor.
Yeah, everything. So, but I'm glad that my husband is really cool about everything, and then he's so encouraging. So that's actually how I continue to go on. You know, first 5 years, always think of wanting to close it, but after the first 5 years, I see my children actually attend the school. Wow, finally you guys are here.
Yeah.
You know,
the whole reason why you started it.
yes.
Yeah.
So I thought, why did I even think of closing it?
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't, and continue. And business was picking up very good, very
Yeah.
well. And eventually we had a 2 years of waiting list.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2 years.
Meaning
of
to say whoever wants to enroll in your school, they have to wait for 2 years.
Yeah, at first it's like a few months, then 1 year, 1.5, and it went to like 2 years. I was
Wow.
quite surprised as well.
You know what? Actually, I'm not totally surprised because countries like Korea, where they emphasize a lot on education. Apparently, my Korean friend had to enroll their baby even before the son is born.
I
While the
see.
wife's still pregnant, they have to enroll them in the school, and that's how important education is to them. You know.
Yeah.
So, how many students do you have now in your center?
Our center is not big, so maybe 40 plus. It's a very small and cozy center.
But for your kind of educational model, that is considered quite a lot of students already.
It is. Yes.
So tell us about your education system.
Okay, so we do not take in a lot of students to do mass teaching because I don't think we are able to take good care of each and every one of them. So we advocate a very small teacher-children ratio. So for
How small is small?
like 1 to 5, one
Okay.
teacher to 5 students, and sometimes I even allocate more manpower, like 1 teacher to 2 students.
1 teacher to 2 students.
Yeah, sometimes. So
Is there like a special case or?
no, it's just that I feel we should do more.
Under what circumstance would you arrange 1 teacher to 2 students?
I wouldn't purposely arrange it. It just like happens like that. It's like I myself, I won't be teaching personally with each class anymore, but I will be floating around. So I am sort of a floater. So I'll float
Okay.
around to different classes. Then if with me going in, I will be 1 teacher. And sometimes when we have interns as well, I will just allocate interns to go in. And sometimes when we have low enrollment, I still allocate the number of teachers that is supposed to be in that class. So there's no like special circumstance. Sometimes I just want more, I just allocate more teachers to go in. I just feel
it's a very
like
very fluid kind of
it is.
education system. I understand your center doesn't have textbooks. So give us an example of what a typical day is like. If let's say I send my kids to the center, what will he or she be going through on a day?
Yeah, when your child comes into the center, actually the education starts at the gate.
At the gate?
At the gate.
Okay.
So we advocate grace and courtesy. So the child will be prompted to greet. So that is an education.
Yes.
To greet the teachers. Though the teachers, for the younger ones, the teachers will greet them first to show them the model, let them model after the teachers.
This is what you do when you see people.
Yes, yes, you've got to greet. So at the gate, greet. Then before they even step into the building, they have to take off their socks and shoes. So
By themselves?
Yes, yes. So this is a training as well. This is an education as well. So they have to use their fine motor skills. So that
Regardless how old they are?
yeah, as young as 2.5, you know, still crying.
They're probably seeing like other people doing it and they also will try to do it themselves, right?
Yes,
That's part of the education.
Yes, part of the education. But when they are new, usually they won't be doing it. They will just sticking their feet up and they expect you to do it for
How
them.
mommy did it.
Yeah, but then we won't. We will just tell them, come, you take it. Come, you pull it. We just do half for the child, and you know.
So after a few trials.
Yes, and all this education is not from textbooks, like I mentioned earlier. It's a lot of development of the child's characters, behavior, and independent skill. So they also developed eye-hand coordination, which is necessary for later on. They have to do reading, they have to do writing. So this you can't learn it from textbooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you learn it from experience. Everyday self-care kind of experience. So they learn to roll their socks, stuff it in the shoes, and shoes put in a shoe bag, and then draw the string, and then hang. They have to just do everything by themselves.
Well, to us that might be something very simple, but for a 3-year-old, that is like university level of putting your shoes away.
I see. Yeah, yeah, it is. In fact, it is. Putting the shoes away is just like
For them, it's challenging.
It's challenging, but as long as they do it, every day this kind of practice will develop those kind of skills and internalize the learning in an amazing way that you can't really see tangible results straight away. You can only see it later on. So as they finish taking off the shoes, organizing themselves, their things, then they will enter the school, enter the building.
Okay.
And then sometimes, in fact, every day we will bring them out for sun time.
Okay.
Let them get sun. You know, COVID, COVID is really like scaring everyone out.
Correct.
But getting the sun is important.
But of course, it's in like an enclosed, safe environment, right?
Yes, it's enclosed, but then it's roofless, no roof. So they are always getting the sun in the morning.
Free to roam and play.
Free to roam and play. Every day they have the outdoor time, and then they enter the building. Then we will start to do circle time, so or show and tell. So all the teachers will actually introduce them some new topics in small group. So these are all
so it's based on like discussion, storytelling.
Talk about. Yes, storytelling, sometimes sing some songs, all related to the topics.
Okay.
So once these small groups are done like in 20 minutes, then they will go into Montessori time. Okay. Montessori is very free flow. So the children don't have textbooks. So the curriculums are all displayed on the low shelves because these are low shelves, so the children can independently go and pick up materials and work on their own. Okay. So this will cover the literacy
and sensory, the touch, the motor skill.
That
it's
is
pretty much everything, right?
Everything,
it's all like
mathematics,
independence,
independence, practical life. Okay, things that they can work to make themselves independent, that they can scoop beans. All this will relate in their home learning.
Problem solving as well.
Problem solving. So in a Montessori classroom, you will see children, just all of them will have their own space. Yeah. But this space is not designated for this child only. Once he finishes his work, he stands up, he moves to another empty space, he'll pick out another work and do, and another child may take over his previous space. And it's very peace and quiet and calm. You don't see children pulling each other's hair out or what, they're trying to push each other. No.
Because they learn about respect, they learn about discipline. Right?
In fact, they learn through this kind of environment. So this environment, the teachers will actually be very courteous. They do not order the children around, but they invite the children to work. They invite the children to work. Would you like to work with me on this? This kind of language.
So you treat them like an adult.
It is respect.
Yeah.
Yes. So only with this kind of respect, the children respect themselves, they respect their friends. And you will see the whole classroom, children are moving about, yet they are not chaos. There's no chaos.
Not chaotic.
They're not chaotic.
Yep. Okay.
So there's the children just have their own individual lesson plan. Yep. So the teacher will look at you, okay, record your observation of what you have been doing, how well you are doing. But the teacher won't pinpoint saying you're wrong, but the teacher will tell you, would you like to check? Oh yeah,
how it could be done better.
how it
Not
could
wrong.
be done. Yes.
Yeah.
So wrong is not a word to be used in our school.
Yeah, it's subjective.
It is because when you say wrong, the person will never dare to try again.
Yes, correct.
And the person will always think, you are right, I'm wrong. So I wait for you to check.
Which was
my
that
work.
kind of education we went through.
That's why I didn't want my children to go through conventional education. I want my children to go through this kind of education. So if I'm the principal, I can make sure this really happens for them.
Yeah. But how do parents take it? Because I'm sure a lot of parents are so used to our kind of education system. First thing first, no textbook. So what do my children learn? I'm sure you get it a lot.
Yeah. So that's why in the first 5 years I told you I was struggling.
Struggling to explain to the parents.
Yes.
Right?
So every single parent or inquiry who walked into our center, I will spend 1.5 hours, every single one, 1.5 hours to explain to them, to take out the materials and have a role play. Let them be the child and then role play. Let them understand how this education work.
Yeah.
So in fact, this effort, I have done a lot of this kind of effort for the first 8 years.
It's intensive.
It's
I can say it's very, even on your day-to-day running, taking care of these children, it's very intensive. So where do you get inspiration from? Don't you get tired of it?
My drive are my children, in fact. They are my drive. So whenever I think that I want my children to really go through this, so I just drive myself forward. So this is called passion. In fact, the original word for passion is not English, and it actually means misery.
Oh, really? Okay, that makes sense.
I can tell you that, but because of passion, you just carry on what you really love to do, what drives you to do, and then you do it well.
So for parents who still believe in, forcing their children learn everything by heart, getting good grades for the examinations, what's your advice to them?
In fact, there are a lot of different ways to get good grades. It's not like learning things by heart is not the only way. Like memorizing is not the only way.
Yes.
You can learn things by heart in a lot of different ways. Our way is more like experiential learning. Once you experience it, it's already in your heart, and you deliver it out. It's as simple as it's a very natural thing to do.
It's the application of what you have learned that is more important.
Yeah, and how you receive that learning is important. Because if you receive the learning through an experiential way, you internalize the learning instead of just it's a rote memory in your brain. And once you internalize the learning, that skill belongs to you. Nobody else can take it away from you.
You carry with you for the rest of your life.
In fact, it is, and you enjoy doing it, and that's how you apply it. When you enjoy doing it, you just apply it naturally when the circumstances come. So in fact, we have a lot of our graduates over the years. They are doing very well. They are doing, like I told you, the scholarship owners. In fact, they are in very good schools as well.
So what do you hope to achieve in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I wish to expand our center. In fact, we are actually sourcing for land or a bigger premise to let the children have a bigger space to roam about, a space with a field. It's all with the intention of letting the children enjoy even more in this center. So
your ultimate goal is that an ultimate goal? That when do you stop? When do you? Because if you're gonna be like, with the rate you're going now, you won't be able to stop.
See, all my 3 children have graduated from my school. So naturally, I have to think of the next drive for me to continue with this center.
Your grandchildren.
Yeah, some people did tell me that. You wait for your grandchildren. I say, well, I have to have some more like at the moment time of drive to drive me. I see my friends' children actually, they trust their children in my hands and put their children in my center. And I believe there are a lot of other parents who are looking for this kind of school that they can entrust their children in my hands. And they are my drive. You see, we want to...
So you have a responsibility to make sure the children turn out well.
Yes. If they are under our care, we really want to make sure they are under good care and they turn out well and they succeed in their life, not just by study, but in terms of a lot of different ways, because we advocate a whole child education.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that your husband has always been like a cornerstone in your life.
Yes.
Supporting whatever you do.
Yes.
Is there anyone else you'd like to say thanks to?
Yes. In fact, to make everything successful, I would like to honor my team of teachers. They have been with me for so many years. They have been through thick and thin with me. And without them, the center will never be the way it is right now.
All right. Well, I wish you all the very, very best in the world.
Thank you.
With whatever you're doing and whatever you're going to do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Toh. Well, that's Ms. Toh of Clover Learning Center. I'll see you all in the next episode of Shanghai Talk of Faith.